Alright, I'm back. Down, no, 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 no. Let's get back into it. Prelude and Violet. Oh, we're at the end of 4.4. Okay, I think I talked to everybody before I left. Yeah. Alize? Urianger agreed to meet us at the Rising Stones. If any of the others heard the voice, we'll find out soon enough. Hmm. Good luck. I should get back to the meeting with the Elder Seeds here, but if there's anything I can do, anything at all, you must let me know, alright? Promise me. Of course. Right. Let's be on our way. Still right where we left most of them. He's alright!
Urianger! God, it's good to see you.
Would that our meeting were under happier circumstances. I judged the voice sufficient cause for concern even before you sent word of its effect on our comrade.
You heard it too, then?
Aye. And all but certainly at the selfsame instant. Alas, pained as I was, I could make little sense of what few words did then reach mine ears.
Who do you think is responsible? Could this be the Ascians doing?
That I cannot say. Not when so little is known. Ere I indulge in speculation, I would examine Thancred with mine own eyes.
To Alamigo, then, without further delay.
One other thing. During my visit to the Far East, I observed a strange phenomenon.
Thou referrest, I presume, to the localized reduction in etheric density.
Well, that spares me the trouble of an explanation. Yes, I noted precisely that at two apparently unconnected locations. I take it the phenomenon is not limited to the Far East.
Indeed not. Of late, our agents charged with surveilling the beast tribes have spoken of little else. In every corner of the realm, they tell of places in which the ether hath grown thin. Naturally, my suspicions first turned to primal activity, but the areas thus affected betray no evidence of summoning. I must confess to being quite perplexed.
If the same phenomenon is being observed in multiple locations on opposite sides of the world, we may safely discount regional factors. Needless to say, this warrants further investigation.
Indeed, I shall make it my task to. The voice. It calleth to me once more.
I hear it too.
Only you. Only you.
No! Ishtola! Urianger!
Throw wide the gates.
No! No, this can't be happening! Y'shtola! Urianger! Open your eyes!
Oh shit, we lost 2 more.
Open your eyes, I beg you! Say something! Anything! Not again. Please, not again.
Shit, dude, Alize's falling apart. She's taking this a lot harder than me. This is an unprecedented predicament for the Scions, but we must remain strong. The least of us most of all. Thanks, Hori. It cannot be discounted that Mistress Kyle has heard the voice as well. I'll ask Tataro to send her word of what has come to pass. It could have been at a worse time, huh? Could have been, but it wasn't. Thank God. I forgot we got that warning like 3 hours ago. It's honestly pretty cool how long it lasts. Tells you it's low on battery and it still goes for another 2 hours or more. Definitely a step up from PS4 controllers, that's for sure. Oh, everybody probably freaked out at that. Clemens? Oh, sure. Sister and I will take turns to keep watch over the slumbering Archons. We'll not leave them untended even for a moment. Okay. Well, we appreciate that. Confound these old bones. Useless as I am, I should have been the one to be struck down. Damn. This poor guy, man. He's on his deathbed over here. He's just like waiting for the end. So sad. He's like, it should have been me, Lord! It should have been me! You know? Didn't the self-same thing happen to Thancred? Who's bloody next? I mean, it's been narrowed down quite a bit now. It's just me and Alize. We had spoken earnestly of doing more to ease the senior Scion's burdens, but not under these circumstances. Nor less so soon. I only hope I will be equal to the challenge. I'm sure you will. Ultimate, what you doing over here? As a mage, I have some few scholarly acquaintances of my own, and will reach out to them for their insights. It may not be much, but 'tis my own little way of aiding Mistress Alize. Yeah, she's falling apart, like hardcore right now. She's already stressed out enough, you know, not knowing what the hell became of her brother. Still waiting on news for that? And now this is happening. She's losing everyone else at the same time. Forgive me. That was an unseemly display. It happened before your very eyes, my lady. None here would have behaved any differently. We have borne the 2 of them to a private chamber. But tell me, is it true that Master Thancred languishes in a like state in Alamiga? I'm afraid so. Though, given the circumstances, it would seem best to observe them together. I will send word to Lys that she should be brought... well, that he should be brought here. Excuse me. Take heart, my lady. The world is full of scholars and knowledgeable folk of every persuasion. Someone out there is bound to know what ails our comrades and how it may be cured. Thus will we rouse them, no matter what. That we will, Hori. That we will. But first things first, our comrades will have questions. May I ask that you explain the situation to them? I must attend to a private matter. Oh, I promised I'd visit someone in Limsa Lominsa. He's been waiting at Maelstrom Command for a while now. You know, you should come along too. I think he'd be glad to see you. Oh, I think I know who she's talking about. Worry not, Leon. Osha and Aenor are keeping watch over Mistress Shistola and Master Rionji. Pray keep Mistress Alize company. Osha and Aenor together? In the same room, keeping watch over them? They better actually be keeping watch and not doing something else together. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, hey, they're passed out. They won't notice. They won't see anything, right? That Aenor, her thoughts, they go places. Can't be discounted. Yeah, what she says. It cannot be discounted, and Mistress Krauss heard the voice as well. I think she said that last time, though. Huh. I was about to ask where they were, too. With Mistress Alize, are you? She usually visits alone. Still, it'd make a welcome change for the little one. Yeah. As you've probably guessed, it's Gabu we've come to see. The private here will bring him out to us. Yeah, I guessed it back at the Rising Stones. Ever since the Maelstrom took him in, I've tried to visit as often as I can. And after what befell our friends, I was taken by the urge to visit again. It's difficult to explain. Not really, I understand. You really felt for him with everything that happened way back then. Little Gabu. Before Stormblood came to pass.
Here he is, my lady.
Oh shit.
Gabu, it's been too long.
I'm afraid there's been no change. If he can see or hear us, he has given no sign.
I see. You're still fighting. I'm proud of you. We promised that we would come and visit you together, didn't we? Alphino and I. I'm sorry that we haven't managed that yet. You know, with the three of us like this, does it not remind you of that night? Of the stars beyond count twinkling in the heavens? I was feeling pretty low back then. Powerless. But I knew that my brother was close by if I needed him, and that the others would be waiting for me back at the Rising Stones. Not like now. I've seen my share of trouble since coming to Eorzea. Been reminded again and again of my limitations, of how little I can change about this world. And I've come to know the sorrow of parting all too well. But to have the people I hold dear struck down before my eyes, and be powerless to help them, that I cannot bear.
Damn it. It happens too often where I want to say both. Still have me.
And for that, I am grateful. I don't know what I would do without you.
He's making me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Well, that's more than enough brooding for one day. Come on. We have friends to save.
That's the spirit. Let's return to the Rising Stones and take it from there. Thanks again for agreeing to come. It meant a lot to me. I know. The ladies. I had to, it was too perfect. 3 hot ass bears just hanging out. I had to do my bows, gentlemen. I did some thinking on the way back, and I think Hori is right. We need to seek outside help. Ordinarily, we would turn to our own experts on such matters, but they're both among the stricken. Yeah, exactly. I will begin by reaching out to the myriad guilds and research institutions here in Eorzea. Additionally, Grandfather and Menphilia had a wealth of connections between them, and I mean to explore those avenues too. We'll find a way to save everyone, mark my words. Much and more has happened in recent days, some of it for the good, some not so. Excuse me, but all around me people continue their fight. From the shinobi who search for Alphino to the Alliance members who make ready to move against the Empire. And again, they march on in the face of great adversity, bearing heavy burdens. Everyone is playing their part, and so must I. You have your own part to play, I know, and it's bigger than most. So I won't keep you. Just promise that you'll visit from time to time, and I promise I'll have good tidings to share with you when you do. Will do, Alize, will do. I'll be hearing that for too much longer, so I gotta get that in while I can. Of course, meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace, I was expecting this. Would have been disappointed if we didn't have something like this. A scene like this.
The Populares no longer present an obstacle. Now is the time to bring the Empire's might to bear. A word from your radiance is all it takes. But one word, and the Imperial army will fall upon Alamigo as a pack of bloodthirsty wolves and tear that feeble nation apart. Have you no words for me? Despite the lengths I go to, an emissary playing the part of a fool. When first I took this face, I swore to use all of my knowledge, all of my power, to further the cause of the Empire. My deeds stand testament to my commitment. And with this adamant flesh at my disposal, I could destroy the Icon Slayer as easily as one might swat a fly. Why do you hesitate? Our enemy is resourceful. Though victory is certain now, it will not remain so indefinitely. Deliberate if you must, but be quick about it. We'll speak again when you have unburdened yourself of doubt. Until then, I take my leave, Father.
Well, now we know who's occupying Xenos' flesh. It's Elidibus. The one he was talking to at the end of Stormblood. Explains why he was like, how dare you?
I should be the one to sigh.
Now who's this asshole?
I played my part to perfection. I had earned my rest, and then, thanks to La Habrea's crowning act of idiocy, our favorite emissary sees fit to summon me back. Elidibus was ever a warrior. A most tiresome trait, would you not agree? What? Have you no words for me either? No matter. I've long grown weary of this mummery. Now, my dearest grandson, let me remind you of your place in the simplest of terms. You do not make judgments, you administer them. Swiftly and to the letter. Naught else is your concern. Elidibus may be an insufferable bore, but he is no fool. His choices as emissary seldom err. If aught threatens the balance twixt light and dark, it falls to you to remove it. Be it by your own hands or by your armies, you have ample means at your disposal. That is why this empire exists, why I built it. Oh dear, have I touched a nerve? You always were an easy one to read. I pity you, I do. As they say, ignorance is bliss. And I know how much happier you would be not knowing the things you know. The Founding Father was an Ascian, and he created the Empire solely for the purpose of sowing the seeds of chaos. Don't take it personally. I merely do my duty. To bring about a calamity requires no small amount of power, and there is no surer way to obtain such power than by collecting powerful pawns. To that end, I have labored long and hard, and I must say I am quite pleased with my handiwork. Paltry though it seems in comparison to Alag.
Holy shit!
You fiends are overfond of your own voices.
Genuinely scared the shit out of me. Forgot when that happened.
Mark me, Ascian. Man is the master of his own destiny.
Fucking blasted him, dude. He's blew him away. Sent him straight to Broadway. Holy shit.
Such a waste of time and energy. Both yours and mine. Lest you forget, you are Emperor now. If you wish to spout drivel about man's destiny, save it for the masses. It will serve to give them a sense of purpose, and you pliant pieces for the game. Oh, do stop sulking, boy. You, of all people, should understand. Ours is a struggle to restore both mankind and the world to their rightful state. Viewed thus, our goals are one and the same.
Meanwhile, at a resistance encampment somewhere in the Empire. A lot of cliffhanger scenes for this one. Holy shit! I really want to set you up to be eagerly anticipating the final patch before the next expansion, huh? 3 months of waiting. Oh shit. I ran out of budget for the voice. Dude, I genuinely jumped a little. It probably wasn't enough for the camera to catch it, but when he shot him, I was like, oh, like, I actually got a little scared. I was like, oh shit. But otherwise, my first time through this, I reacted the same way afterwards. I just fucking laughed my ass off because it was so sudden. It's just, and he's just holding the gun, like, the way he's holding it to his side, like, he didn't even raise his arm up, like, that was. And then you hear every little thud as he collapses down the steps. I was like, holy shit, dude. Damn. Still. Solus Zos Galvis. That's supposed to be the guy's father, yet he looks younger than him. Probably some Asian magic taking over a dead body, I guess, right? You can do stuff to it? I don't know. What in the world? What's wrong, Alfina? Dead. All dead. Yet I see no wounds, nor any evidence of battle. Yeah, but they're gray and cold as corpses. Alright. It's kind of... like, I got chills. It's kind of disturbing. Normally we see dead bodies pretty fresh, but... humans have been like this for a while. Damn them. They finally used it. The Empire developed an alchemical weapon in Dirabania. A gas. Black Rose, it was called, and to breathe it is to breathe your last. And that did this? I thought the project abandoned and its vile fruit destroyed. But naught else could have wrought such an atrocity. Fools. What do they hope to gain with this butchery? Can they not see that a rule won through terror will not endure? How many more provinces must they lose? It sounds almost... Nay. Wait. This is not the work of men, but monsters. The Asians. It cannot be a coincidence that their trail led us here. Their objective was never to rule, but to sow strife and discord. Such a crime does indeed bear the mark of the bringers of chaos. Black Rose cannot be allowed to kill again. We must find the Ascians and put an end to their plot. And that's all you get. Sucks, don't it? But it's only been about 30 minutes since I got back from my break, so I'll go another 30 minutes. But imagine that's all you get to see, and then you get 3 months of waiting again. Well, Snoop Dogg can say it best. Fuck! This is the breakpoint that I was waiting for. Wait, I don't have to, not this character. So there's one last little side quest I forgot to do. It's not New Game Plus, you can only do it on it. But it's not actually a quest, we don't actually have to do anything. We just have to talk to an NPC for a bit. So I just have to switch data centers real quick. That was probably not the best place to log out, I just realized. Especially where I'm standing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put up the BRB screen for just a second. I'll wait till we get there, though. Yeah, it's at the top of the recommendations list. Totally forgot about this guy. So I kind of made a small mistake, but I corrected it immediately, so nothing was lost. I talked to this guy already. And if you talk to him even once, you just get a bunch of dialogue that you can't later see again if you talk to him again. So, like I said, I corrected that mistake though, I recorded it. So give me a sec while I look through and find the clip. It shouldn't be that hard to find, it was pretty recent. It was when I was catching up on MSQ off stream. Let's see. Sort by video clips. Not that one, not that one. Should be. My god, all these gold saucer clips from clutch things that I've done in some of the gold saucer gates and minigames. Where the hell is it? I think it's this one. I probably went too far. No, this is... What the hell was this about? I don't know why I kept this. Let's see if it was this one. Yep, found it. Okay. The thumbnail did not lead me straight to... But I found it. Alright. I gotta remember to turn down the damn game audio. Okay. You know, before I switch back. Headphone warning in case I forget. Yeah, I did this by stupid me, by accident, like a few days ago. I was like, oh shit, I wasn't supposed to talk to this guy. A wandering minstrel. Does he remind you of anybody? Our old friend. Who should stand before me but the hero who shattered the shackles of oppression in Doma and Al Amigo both? In spite of your burgeoning fame, I am honored that you should willingly share your precious time with this humble minstrel. I don't think it's meant to be the same one, even though it looks identical. But yeah, you guys know the minstrel back at the Rising Stones? Who hears our tales and then creates extreme trial and savage content for us? Yeah, that guy. If I may ask, how are you enjoying the Far East? With its many charms, it is an easy place to like. Indeed, it holds a special place in my heart. You might even say it is a second home to me, often as I find myself here on my endless quest for verse. See, at this point I knew I was committed, and I was like, oh shit, I better take it slow, I gotta record this now. I fucked up. I won't have to pause it anymore. And on this particular visit, the proprietor of this theater chanced to hear me perform and took a shine to my work. One thing led to another, and a number of my songs were adapted for the stage. See, I have the level 70 job quest here for Samurai, too. Such are the crowds they have drawn, I have since been commissioned to write pieces for a new production. Really? That is not to brag, mind you. Nay, far from it. For though I am glad for the approval, the truth is I have been struggling to summon forth the inspiration with which to fuel my creativity. But of course, your recent exploits could well provide me with the inspiration I need. Of course. So I meant to do this after Hildebrand, but such events you must have witnessed, such emotions experienced in your struggle to liberate Doma and Alamigo from the clutches of the Empire. Though the tales have been doing their rounds, there is no substituting a first-hand account. Nay, I would say from the eyes of he who stood in the thick of it, and knows the depths of his heart. I shall remain in Kugane while I compose my pieces for the Mujikozo. Whenever you can spare a moment, I ask that you regale unto me your recent adventures, and I shall see to it they are immortalized within these halls. And there you go. So yeah, that's basically... that takes care of that. And then after you have that initial conversation with him, oh my god, see, I knew I'd forget. That's why I said headphone warning. There, I lowered it. Jesus. Good thing it was on a quiet part of the song, right? Christ. Anyway. So yeah, after that initial conversation, you talk to him again and he says this. Ah, something heroic this way comes! How fare you, Leon? As ever, I am seeking inspiration to draw upon for my work. If you have any new experiences to share, I should very much like to hear them. And there you go. Big ass fucking list of unlocks. We got Lakshmi, Suzano, Shinryu, Tsukuyomi, Byako, Suzaku, Seiryu. All the trials, right here. In order. Chronological order. By level too, I guess. Well, actually, Lakshmi's not in order. Suzano should be first, but whatever. Oh, what stirring story have you for me today? Well, Lakshmi, the Kalyana's god. To lose her beloved daughter not once, but twice. First to the Empire, and then to the Primal's false promise. It's all I can do to imagine the Kalyana elder's grief. Well, she's dead now, because she tried to fuck us over at the palace in Alamigo, but yeah. And as if she had not lost enough, unable to bear the reality, she chooses to flee from it, by making an offering of her soul to the Primal. It is a tragedy to rend hearts. My apologies, Leon. I know full well that I asked you for a tale, but so private and intense a sorrow should not be made the subject of amusement. However, I would honor the memory of the departed with a verse. What do you got? Let's hear it. For her daughter's life a mother mourned, but from the flesh her soul was torn. For her daughter's smile a mother yearned, now from a dream she may ne'er return. Forgive me if I have awakened unpleasant memories. Yeah, it was a pretty sad moment, but I'm alright. Liberties may be taken in a tale's telling, but it cannot wipe away such sorrow that has taken root in one's heart. Nay, no more than abiding in a dream will change reality. Poetic, considering that's exactly what they do when they give their souls to their primal Lakshmi. Even so, we may pray for wounds to heal and scars to fade, and so pray I shall for the Kalyana, for all those who grieve, that they may one day know peace. And Emanation Extreme, now accessible. I like that this sorrowful tale was told and the weather became appropriate. Just started raining while we were talking about something sad. Good timing, huh? He's gonna say this over and over every time. I'm not reading it each time. Alright, I gotta tell you about Susano now, too. Ah, you have a new tale for me? Wonderful. A clash against a kami of legend. The words fairly write themselves. Yes, this would adapt very well indeed for the stage, and I dare say even the Kojin would come to watch. Yeah, they might like it, actually. As this song is about you, however, 'tis only meet that you are the first to hear it. Lend your ears, then, to the tale of your furious encounter with Susano, the Lord of the Revel. See what you got? Upon eastern seas, 3 treasures join to birth a kami great, whose sacred blade strikes awe in hearts and cleaves the land in straits. From western lands a challenger comes, a hero from afar, whose radiant blade sets souls ablaze and outshines the very stars. So, was I able to capture Susano's stormy grandeur? I drew upon my imagination to create more evocative imagery, but it should more or less line up with your experience. Somewhat stormier than you recall? Well then, that makes it just right. Upon the stage, storytelling takes on a different dynamic, you see, and it is common practice to favor the grandiose. Okay. But with your rousing tale at its heart, I have no doubt that the play will be received with no less than a standing ovation. The Full of Tribute Extreme, not accessible. Him and his embellishments, huh? Alright, I gotta tell you about Shinryu now, too. Well then, pray do not keep me in suspense. Shinryu, a being of pure violence, born of the torment of they who died for their homeland. Those souls had longed for the power to smite the Empire. Little would they have imagined that this power would assume such a form. Nor that it would fall into the enemy's hands to become the ultimate obstacle to freedom, bound to the will of Xenosia Galvus. A pitiable man who feels not safe when at the edge of death. Yeah. He's a fucking psychopath. I mean, he's dead now, though, but an Asien took over his body. The power to smite, the power to save, a desperate man did direly crave. High though the price, in full he did pay, creating a god where his dead body lay. The power to rise, the power to vie, a lonely man did madly desire. Forsook his flesh, for such was the toll, binding a god to his insatiable soul. Here we have 2 men who sought power, but for different reasons. One wished to deliver his homeland from tyranny. The other wished to fill the void of his solitude. Yet, even should they achieve this goal, would they truly find peace? Excuse me. I suspect that only they should know the answer. But they're both dead now. Now, you, my friend, you will continue your fight, will you not? I pray that you will again regale me with such accounts of your experiences. For as brightly as a hero's tale shines, it is not without its shadows. It is my duty, I feel, to share both with the world, the stirring and the sorrowful. Okay, I'll keep telling you about more then. The Minstrel's Ballad, Shinryu's Domain. I always give a unique name to the trial that's the finale for the expansion, huh? Alright. Gotta tell you about Tsukuyomi. And what manner of triumphant tale do you have for me today? Tsukuyomi, later Lady of the Moon. Thus, in the mortal form of Yotsuyu, vengeful daughter of the Neuri, did this primal find the willing host. Did this primal find the willing host? I had heard stories of the acting viceroy's merciless rule, yet none ever mentioned the terrible childhood she endured. The outward face of history surrenders little of the turmoil which rages beneath its surface. She had but one chance to be reborn, only to have it snatched away. And in the void left behind, her cruelty bloomed anew. Yes, this has all the makings of a tragic Tonka. Very. Still makes me quite sad to think about. Forgive me. A form of classical Hingan poetry I was but recently taught by the actors here. It goes without saying I have yet to master it, so I will thank you for not laughing at my fumbling attempt. Okay. Fair enough. Give it a shot, buddy. Neath the half-moon's glow, lily-white petals unfurl, rooted in malice. The bloom drinks in the darkness and is swallowed by the night. Man, he's going for it. The flower Yotsuyu planted was doomed to last but a single evening before its petals were scattered. Mayhap she wished only for a pretty bloom to adorn her final resting place. She was surrounded by flower petals before she died, yeah. I do not mean to excuse her atrocities, but very few of us are born villains. Circumstances conspired to break her spirit, even as she made her misguided choices. Remember what I've been saying this entire time? So I said it when they talked about Xenos, even. Nobody's just born evil. We all start off as innocent little babes, right? Lisa's the one who brought this up in the credits for Stormblood. I remember now. And I followed up with it. You're made into who you are. Your past experiences, whatever they may be, mold you into the person you are in this very moment. I only hope that in death, her soul has shed the maddening shackles of vengeance. I think she did, yeah. Because even before she died, she was satisfied when she killed her cold, heartless worm of a brother, Asahi, so... I think so. A minstrel's ballad, Tsukuyomi's Pain. Another unique title. Time to tell him about the four lords. Well, at least three of them. Byakko. Byakko, did you say? As in Byakko of the Four Lords? He and his comrades feature prominently in the Tale of Tenzin, one of the three great plays that are performed regularly at the Mujikoza. It so happens I know the story quite well. As a student of the fine arts, it was my duty to study it closely. I expect what you're about to tell me will be most enlightening indeed. Nothing like having an encounter with the real thing. Hidden beneath hell's lid. A sanctuary for some, a prison for one. You spoke with the auspices of Rising Temple? And their leader was none other than Genbu of the Four Lords? A veritable character from the play come to life. Not that I would question the veracity of your account, of course. I merely comment on the incredible life you lead. Thanks, I guess. And so it fell to you to quell the raging Aramitama of a legendary auspice. In battle? Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. My word, to think you faced the legendary White Tiger in battle. The Western Guardian, the bosom friend of the hero Tenzin. Yes, yes. I feel a Tonka coming on. Oh, here we go again. More poetry, rather than actual music. Or a song. They're not too different. Feared and forsaken, seeking death and solitude, saved by fellowship, Snow White, harbinger of doom, become beloved legend. I mean, music is basically just poetry with... Well, songs, I should say, are just poetry with music attached to it. Most of the time, anyway. You know, in the Tale of Tenzin, Byakko was likened to a god of war with near limitless powers of destruction. Well, he certainly seemed that way. Not to say that the Byakko you faced was a weakling, but the picture you paint is of a rather less intimidating auspice, don't you think? The sort some might even be willing to cuddle. Or at least reach out and rub the belly. What are you trying to say? But perhaps he has grown more reserved in his old age. Perhaps, in his troubled youth, he more closely resembled his portrayal in the legends. Come to think of it, you're not altogether different, you and him. Blessed or cursed with exceptional powers, defined by them in the eyes of many. Brave souls that rose to the occasion. The Jade Stoic Scream. There we go. Alright, well, your embellishments should probably bring about the real Byakko, I guess, according to you. Alright. Time to tell him about Suzaku. Fell in love with Tenzin and all that. And so it fell to you to quell the raging Aramitama of the legendary auspice. In battle? It's the same exact line as with Byakko. Yeah, her name was, Suzaku. Ah, Suzaku, the auspice whose fiery plumage was only eclipsed by her passion for her comrade, Tenzin. Yes, yes. I feel a Tonka coming on. Oh. That's a much thinner, writing pad? I don't know what to call it. As the setting sun, the fire of my broken heart, cast shadows of you, 1,000 years of moments we shared in a fleeting dream. No matter the culture or the era, tales of love and longing never cease to resonate with the soul, do they not? Well, of course not, because we all yearn to be loved and to love someone. We all do. That's a fact. We all want love and acceptance. And in Suzaku's case, there is the added element of tragic irony, of being misjudged by all save one singular man. A man she could have saved if only he was wrong and the world right. A man whose fate she could have averted had she then the tremendous powers she only later came to possess. Very tragic, yeah. As moving a tale as it is, I weep to know that every word of it is true. Hell's Gear Extreme. There we go. It is pretty tragic. No one likes the pain of losing someone they love. How could anyone? Well, I gotta tell him about Seryu. And so it fell to you to quell the raging Aramitama of the legendary auspice. In battle? Yeah, this guy's name was Seryu. That he nearly succumbed to his primal rage willingly, out of a misguided desire to fulfill an ancient vow. Truly, this is the stuff of poetry. Worthy material for a magnificent Tonka. His last one, here it goes. Corruption embraced, into my heart flow and fill, indigo river, crimson black with blood and ash, promises kept, vows fulfilled. I've heard many tales concerning Seryu before, but your experience calls much of what I assume true into question. Although his unrivaled powers as a sorcerer are as expected, he is generally described as a massive, majestic dragon, rather unlike the serpentine being with which you claim to have treated. And this tale of him in his youth, this fledgling auspice mistaken for a guardian kami, it is a sort of story one might expect as a cautionary parable, not a tragic and unfortunate truth. It is not at all hard for me to imagine how he grew frustrated and angry following Tenzin's death. For not only was he deprived of a dear comrade, he was robbed of a chance to fulfill a sacred vow. His rematch with him, yeah. It is good that you helped him to reclaim himself, for a tortured soul such as his could have easily trod the same path as the mad auspice Koryu. Yeah. It's very true. The Wreath of Snakes Extreme. And with that, we're all finished. Okay, that first line was all like always, but now he says, in case you weren't aware, those songs I composed of your earlier exploits have been adapted for the stage, and they have proven tremendously popular here at the Mujikosa. While the work is its own reward, 'tis the smile upon the faces of the audience that we artists live for. Well, Yoshi P, then you haven't failed. You haven't failed at all. Not for me anyway. It's not to me anyway, because I've enjoyed every moment that I've spent on this game, I must say. Your art is, it's something to behold, alright. Only one bowed, but still. Ladies. I addressed Yoshi P directly there because that character model is meant to be his representation in this game. I don't know if I saved a clip of it, I doubt it, and I think I was probably on PS4 still when I did, so I'd have to switch consoles just to show it to you guys. But there was an event called Moonfire Rising, I think? Something like that. I can't remember the actual fucking name of the event, but it was celebrating the anniversary of this game. It happens somewhere in the summer, so it might be coming up soon, actually. And yeah, he had like in the event there was a quest where he came out, that was his exact character model, but in his actual name, and he thanked the player directly for playing the game, for playing F14 and enjoying it a lot. It was, you know, after Endwalker had been announced, but obviously way before it was released. It was the summer before, so it was still like half a year off. Again, if I saved a clip, it might be... It's definitely on the old PS4, which I have right here. But I'll have to switch HDMI cables and everything just to show that clip. And I think I probably will. I'll probably do that once we finish the next expansion. It's the most appropriate time. Yeah, I hope I still have that clip saved. No promises. We'll see. But, yeah. Alright, so yeah, that wasn't like, you know, really much of a side quest. We were just kind of talking to him and unlocking all the extreme content, but it was enough dialogue to carry me for another 30 minutes, and now it's been almost about a full hour since I came back from break, so close enough to my bedtime as well. Well, it might as well be, yeah. So we'll just end it here. We'll end it on this little cliffhanger that we just saw, Prelude and Violet. Excuse me. Yeah. Tomorrow we start 4.5, the final patch before the next expansion. It's gonna be a fun time reliving it all over again. I'll never forget my first time, and literally because I have it saved on my YouTube channel, my blind playthrough of that expansion. I'll always be able to look back on it, see my first time reaction to everything. Now I'm gonna play through it again with the knowledge of what happens already in my mind, and, well, we'll see how that goes. Often, a second viewing of something so great can just be just as good as the first in a different way. Or maybe not just as good, but pretty close. But again, in a different way. Because once you know what's going to happen, you're able to look back at things... You're able to look back at things with a different perspective. You know what I mean? It's like a different experience, and I think it's equally as valuable as your first time through experience. So, I'm really excited to play this expansion again for the second time. Just like how I've very much enjoyed all the previous ones, doing it again, and this time on stream. And I've actually caught things that I didn't catch the first time. Like, for example, something that I didn't talk about, but I can now because I'm about to bog off and go to bed anyway. Thank God I remembered this, because I did want to talk about it. What Urianger said before him and Yastola were, you know, struck down also and had their souls taken from their bodies. He said they're starting to get reports all over the world about de-aspected crystals, ether being sucked out of the land, even though there's no primals being summoned. I don't remember that detail from my first time through. So I was kind of like, are they setting something up for Endwalker? It stands to reason. I mean, with all the previous expansions, they've always kind of set up the one after. Before... Meaning, like... talking about this now is... Let me find an example I can use here. fuck, the best example I have is just gonna spoil some shit that we're gonna do tomorrow, so I might as well wait. Fuck, I'll have to come back, but some of you probably know what I'm talking about. Sometimes they kind of tease the expansion that's coming after the one that's coming up immediately. If that makes any sense. All I can say to not, spoil what's happening next is pretty much just think about what happened in the post-game for Realm Reborn and Heavensward, and then think about how some of that might have hinted at Stormblood, way before it even happened. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Because I said that, I just meant, so what Ilberd did, they literally just talked about it in some of the final scenes just now in the main story before we stopped in Prelude and Violet or whatever. Before Thancred was, spirited away, I guess. They were reminiscing about the Bloody Banquet in Ul'dah. They said this was the first time they've gotten together like this since that time, which was tragic, of course. They talked about how Raban lost his arm. That's what I'm talking about. Ilberd chopping off his arm and betraying everybody, and specifically Raban, having his hatred towards him, was because he did nothing to try and help Al Amigo with all the time that he had, being in the position of power that he was in Ul'dah, with the Sultana and everything. Literally setting up Stormblood right before Heavensward. Setting up Ilberd as being the one who was gonna later bring about this Storm of Blood through his own hands. So that's an example of what I'm talking about. That at the last minute, right before Heavensward, they're already teasing Stormblood through Ilberd's actions. But it was very light. So that's what I'm suspecting this is. What they're talking about, how they're starting to find unexpected crystals and, ether being drained from the land in places where primals aren't even being summoned. I have a feeling that this is related to something that's going to happen in Endwalker, but I don't know because I still haven't played that expansion, so. But it makes me more excited. I'm kind of like, since that's the expansion after the one that we're about to go into, that's the reason they're setting it up already. Huh. To be fair, granted that it is also the grand finale for this entire story, you could also argue they've already been setting this one up for a long time. Even since way back in Realm Reborn. Talking about the great ardor and the rejoining of the crystals and their reflections and the worlds that they represent and yada yada. They even talked about it a little bit in Post Heavensward, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Either way, it's been a long, wild, and crazy ride, and I'm very excited to see how it all ends. But we're not there yet. Patience. We're not there yet. But we're close. We're getting pretty damn close now. Surreal. This marathon's almost over. It's almost over. But, like I said, still a ways to go. Quite a good ways to go. So with that, I will bid you all farewell now, before I keep rambling endlessly. So yeah, as always, thank you all very much for watching and supporting my content. Aiden Lorcan, thank you very much for coming by and keeping me company while I record this video. And to all of you watching in the future on YouTube or Twitch, I thank you all very much as well for your support. And as always, I bid you all to please take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay safe out there, and I will add a bonus today. Please, because I did remember, I was like, that's right, it's Father's Day, and I did celebrate before I started streaming. If your father's still in your life, and they've been good to you, and earned your respect and admiration, then please, tell them Happy Father's Day, thank them for what they've done, for the positive impact they've had on your life. For those of you who have been lucky enough to have that experience, like I have. And so yeah, with that, until next time, please, as always, have a good morning, a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and good night. Until next time, peace.